The story centers on Old Nan, who used to be a mid-level manager at the company. Tragically, his wife died in a car accident not long ago, and overwhelmed with grief, he was unexpectedly promoted and sent far away to manage a remote site. Hoping for a fresh start and a bit of peace, Old Nan moved into a dilapidated mansion with his young daughter, their loyal dog Captain Lade, and some keepsakes his late wife left behind. Now his co-workers warned him. This town, unlike Buddhist Thailand, is mostly Muslim, and they see dogs as evil spirits. At first Old Nan didn't take it seriously, but soon enough he noticed eerie black talismans taped to doors and windows all around. On impulse, he tore one off. Right after, his dog started barking like mad. A stranger walked past, ignoring his hello, and Captain Lade began sniffing the ground desperately, as if sensing something huge was about to happen. Old Nan spots a dying little bird, and without hesitation, he wraps the corpse in one of the black talismans he ripped off earlier, and tosses it out with the trash. That very night, weird things begin. Late at night, he hears footsteps outside and can't sleep. Going downstairs, he sees a group of Muslims in black and white robes loitering outside his door. Though odd, no one interferes, so he goes back inside to lie down, only to notice a shadow behind him that freezes, then slowly turns to stare him dead in the eye. The next day at work, he tells his daughter to lock the dog inside, but when she steps out for lunch, Captain Lade is found dead upon returning. Old Nan sees his daughter crying and quietly buries their dog alone in the yard. The old man said he lived nearby and brought some curry his wife made so they wouldn't go hungry. Old Nan thanked him, but tossed the curry and bowl in the trash, suspecting the dog was poisoned by that shady man from yesterday. He was right. That night, the man came to his door again. Old Nan chased him, but the man fled. He quickly wiped off the talismans, thinking he was safe. But the night was restless. He heard frantic knocking, and at dawn, the ghostly shadow lingered on the wall. After 2 sleepless nights, Old Nan grew more irritable. The next morning, while taking his daughter to school, he noticed the shady man again and quickly went to confront him. Rick said an old man who delivered curry to Old Nan yesterday had no legs. Then Rick smirked, saying the talisman on Old Nan's door was a blessing, not a curse. That smug look nearly made Old Nan angry, but thinking of his daughter, he warned Rick he didn't want trouble but wasn't afraid of it. Rick laughed. "You've already stirred up big trouble." Furious, Old Nan tried to strike him, but a group of old men stopped him, saying he'd watched too many magical girl shows and his mind was poisoned by black magic. Though they meant well, Old Nan felt they were all in cahoots. That night after work, he heard quick footsteps upstairs again and thought he saw his late wife alive. Just as he tried to chase her, his dead dog blocked his way. After 2 loud thuds, Captain Ryder transformed into a demon fist. Scared, the old man tumbled down the stairs and saw a red scar forming on his ankle. Over the next few days, maybe from lack of sleep or some evil presence, he started hallucinating. One night, working late, he called Xiaomei to lock the door. But Wang Chi's voice came crying through the phone. Terrified, he rushed home and found robed figures huddled in his yard. When he asked them to turn, they had no faces. Suddenly, they became crows. The old man panicked and stumbled aside. Strange things kept happening since they moved into that old house. The old man suspected Rick had cast black magic here, so he asked around. Everyone said Rick was a good guy, but avoided talking about the old house. The old man thought maybe he was wrong about Rick, but then he looked down. The red scar on his ankle was spreading like crazy, bleeding and rotting. Terrified, he ran home in front of everyone, but Xiaomei didn't understand because in her view, he had no wound at all. Thinking her father was losing it, Xiaomei asked a shaman to set up a Buddhist altar to suppress the evil. While digging, workers found an ancient dagger underground. The shaman said it was very old and evil, wanting to discard it. But Xiaomei said it's better not to mess with unknown things and put it back. Soon, monks came to chant prayers and bless the altar. But one elder kept staring at the old man like he had something that even scared the monks. Xiaomei begged the master to save her father, but the monk said he couldn't help. Xiaomei was confused. But the day after the Buddhist shrine was built, she heard from a classmate about a terrifying event. A villager downstream from her house had hanged himself. That river was near where Old Nan fell that night. The deceased was a relative of Pang Si, the old mansion's owner. All signs pointed to trouble at Xiaomei's home. Her classmate revealed more secrets. Years ago, the original owners moved abroad, and the house was said to be haunted. But since this is a Muslim area, they call it a jinni, an unseen entity that possesses those with weak faith. As soon as Xiaomei heard this, she instantly felt, no wonder they said 3 people couldn't handle it. They aren't even on the same wavelength. Xiaomei asked if there was any way to dispel the house's curse, but her classmate surprised her by recommending Rick, the only local who really knows black magic. Xiaomei was hesitant, but then someone downstream from the old mansion hanged themselves. So her classmate reluctantly took her to see Rick. Xiaomei is straightforward. She immediately said her father, Old Nan, thinks Rick cursed their family. But Rick just looked at her like, why would I mess with you? We've got no beef. Old Nan tore down all protective talismans on the old mansion. Then he tried to fix it by drawing spells on the door, but wiped those off the same night. Worse, they built a Buddhist shrine inside, breaking the last spiritual protection. Even Rick, skilled as he is, couldn't help. He warned Xiaomei they must leave immediately to survive. When Xiaomei rushed home, she found blood on the floor. Old Nan upstairs slashing his ankle, blood everywhere. But he wouldn't stop. He was clearly losing grip on reality. Xiaomei helped him downstairs, but the door wouldn't open. Rick arrived, saying to drive out the curse they had to take Old Nan to the mountains to find the true Wu Yi. They had to leave at once. But Old Nan didn't believe him. Out of options, Xiaomei silenced Old Nan's stubbornness firmly. Soon after, they set off for the mountains. As they got out of the car, Rick said he had something to do and would be back soon. Facing strange looks, Xiaomei and her father panicked. But Rick just went to buy a cane for Old Nan. The daughter and father felt ashamed, but thanks to Rick's kindness, Old Nan began to trust him. After 5 days trekking, they found an old shaman deep in the forest. She explained the curses on the house, and Old Nan were linked, balancing each other out. Before she finished, the fire in her room flared up, proving she was right. The old witch cast out the righteous spirit from Old Nan, and through her medium, revealed the past. 2 centuries ago, South and North were at war. Adi, a northerner, was captured by the southern army, forced to fight, and marked with a rabbit 5 tattoo to prevent escape. Skilled in black magic, Adi summoned the spirit jinni, hoping to return home. But some wanted to settle on the fertile land, sparking conflict. Adi clashed fiercely with Old Tang, but just as he was about to summon Jenny, Old Tang betrayed him. Adi was hunted by the northern army. Before he died, he cast a black magic curse that no heretic would die peacefully. The dagger used was the one Xiaomei found at home. The army beheaded Adi in front of everyone. Soon after, Laotang betrayed them, joined forces with locals, took power, and killed all northern soldiers. They buried Adi and sealed his descendants and spirit with charms. But the next day, the northern army returned, hanged Laotang and his men on trees near the house, then called a shaman to curse the place. This land is full of curses and grudges, very complicated. At first, Old Nan's talisman accidentally woke Laotang's curse, causing him to lose control, be influenced by the seal, and self-harm. Descendants of both original families kept hanging themselves on trees, replaying old torture. Then, the Buddha shrine Xiaomei had built reawakened Adi's curse on all heretics, and a stronger seal spirit took hold of the old mansion. The old man said the only way to end this crisis was to leave. The 3 headed back. On the way, Rick went to get water, while the old man confessed to his daughter that her mom didn't die in an accident. After drinking, he insisted on driving and caused the accident that killed his wife. He's filled with guilt, a darkness inside him he can't face, which let Tianni take control. But his daughter wasn't affected. She already knew but never blamed her dad. Life has to move on. What scared her most was watching her dad spiral deeper into his guilt. They returned to their old home, only to find Grandpa had sold it. Since it was his property and he couldn't forgive the old man for killing his daughter, they had no home. Feeling guilty, the old man remembered the mother's ashes were still there. They decided to return, grab the ashes, then find a motel to plan. But they underestimated things. As little Me packed upstairs, the old man went to fetch the ashes, and suddenly, a ghostly figure rose from the ground. The spirit crashed through the Buddha altar at the door. Yes, it was Adi's spirit. And he wasn't letting these 2 outsiders leave alive. An evil wind toppled the wife's urn, scattering ashes everywhere. The old man, devastated, held her photo and stepped outside. When little May came down, she saw the ashes and broke down, feeling abandoned by her father and overwhelmed with grief. Suddenly, rapid knocking came from next door. The unreliable fled, but Rick arrived, pushing the old woman along. Little May searched the yard for the old man while Rick grabbed the cursed dagger. Together, with the old woman, they faced the evil spirit. It circled the old house, then turned into Adi's form. The old woman floated, trembling, then fell hard. She clearly had great power. Rick stabbed the dagger into the ground, trying to break Adi's curse. They faced off, trading insults, neither willing to back down. Unexpectedly, Adi glanced at the arriving old Nan and vanished. He wasn't running away but was burdened by guilt, thinking of joining his wife in death. He worried about little May being left alone but couldn't go through with it. Once Jenny let go of his inner demons without resentment, he weakened and was defeated by Rick and the old lady's combined attack, finally destroyed. Afterwards, they unearthed Adi's bones under the shrine. The old lady wanted to take them back, having discovered Adi was the ancestor of the Wu Yi lineage. In the end, old Nan and little May chose to settle in the old mansion. But that night, the familiar sound of footsteps echoed again up the stairs. Because he forgot the shaman from the Northern Army had left a third curse in this house. That's the end of the story, where a father and daughter move into a cursed house and ignore all the warnings and end up facing a powerful spirit from the past. What they thought would be a new beginning turns into a fight for survival against something they'd never believed in. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.